Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha, and I'm having Greek yogurt, peanut butter, frozen blueberries. All right, let's talk about bulking and cutting here. I say this quite a bit, and it gets a lot of criticism because people don't understand what I'm saying. A lot of people get it, they understand. When I say that generally we should be bulking or cutting all the time, we're talking about this in terms of people who are trying to maximize muscle or trying to maximize body composition or even trying to maximize strength. And the reason I say this is because at maintenance, you are generally only maintaining. Novices recomp easier. Right, I've described for you guys situations where recomposition is easier, harder, and where it becomes pretty much impossible. Most of us are in the gym training. We are lifting weights for the purpose of either maintaining muscle while we're cutting, but more likely we are lifting weights to gain muscle and or to gain strength. That's usually the idea. When guys say silly stuff like, well, I'm lifting weights for aesthetics. Well, what does that mean? How do you get aesthetics? I'm assuming that means you want to gain muscle in certain areas and that you want to lose fat later, right? You're still following these rules. And I have a friend, again, she watches the channel too. Been friends with her for many years. She says, I don't care about any of that. I train to look hot. And I'm always like, how do you define hot? What are your units of hot? There has to be a training response you're looking for. But that aside, we are training to make progress of some type. And if you are at maintenance calories, that means you are not bulking or cutting. That's what people need to grasp. What does a bulk and a cut mean? A bulk means you are in a calorie surplus. Any calorie surplus. If you eat 10 more calories every day than you burn, you are technically bulking. It would be a ridiculously stupid slow bulk, but you're in a calorie surplus. Or you're in a calorie deficit. When we are bulking, even if we're gaining weight slowly, I'm talking 1 pound per month, which is what I have a lot of my advanced lifters do, by the way. My advanced drug-free lifters, when I say that, I would prefer them bulking and cutting, and I have some who don't, and they still get good progress, but they could get better progress if they were 8 more. And I hate to use that example because I have one of my clients I've had a couple years now who is very lean, very much has that look, is pretty damn strong, who he doesn't track what he eats at all, right? He doesn't track anything. He has no idea how many calories or protein he eats. 9% body fat, squats 475, deadlifts 560 as a 300 pounds bench, getting stronger on the lower body. Most of you guys out there who care about physiques would kill for his physique. He doesn't track anything he eats, ever. So there can be exceptions to this, but even he would make better progress if he did dedicated bulking and cutting. You gain muscle much, much, much faster bulking. And what people need to understand, losing fat is a fast process. Gaining muscle is a slow process. In other words, worrying about 5 or 6 pounds of extra fat gain is really stupid if you're trying to gain muscle. Or if you're even seeking to maximize body composition, and here's why. How hard is it to lose 5 pounds of fat? Any one of you out there right now who are easily maintain your body weight, if you were to gain 5 pounds of body fat, how fast could you lose it? Without losing muscle mass, I don't know, a month, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, you could spend that time losing that fat and you would not lose any muscle tissue. Unless you're under 10% body fat and trying to lose 5 pounds of fat. And most people would have no problem with that. Most of you who are lifting. So if you can bulk and triple your muscle growth by gaining 5 pounds of body fat, and people say, oh, is it really that extreme? Yeah, it is that extreme. You should be bulking and cutting because you can retake the fat off very quickly. And I'm not talking about when you do a sloppy bulk. I'm not talking about you guys putting on 30 pounds. If you're a novice, you might want to do that. But an example. Let's say that you want to gain muscle as quickly as possible as an advanced lifter, and we bulk 1 pound per month, right? And at the end of, say, a 10-month bulk, you've gained 10 pounds. 4 of it's muscle tissue. Now, people say that's a bad ratio. No, it's not for an advanced lifter. That's really good. You gained 4 pounds of muscle. You put on 4 pounds of muscle, basically, in 10 months. Had you not bulked, you might have gained half a pound of muscle, 1 pound of muscle. And I'm being kind there. Advanced lifters at maintenance calories not gaining weight, gaining 1 pound of muscle in a year would actually be really, really good. It would be above average. Most advanced lifters who bulk don't even gain that. They're lucky to gain a pound of muscle in 2 years, 3 years. And yes, it really is that extreme. Without using any drugs, it is that extreme. But if they bulk for 10 months and they're willing to put on, say, 6 pounds of body fat to gain 4 pounds of muscle, how long does it take to lose that 6 pounds? I'm going to say less than 2 months. So at the end of the year, this person has gained 4 solid pounds of muscle tissue, maybe 3. Extrapolate that over 3 years. Let's say this guy, a semi-advanced lifter, over the next 3 years, did bulks and cuts like that. 10 months of bulking, slow bulking, 1 pound, then cuts for 2 months. Every single year. Gains 4 pounds, 3 pounds, 2 pounds of muscle, let's say in that order. That adds up. That's like 8 to 9 pounds of muscle, assuming a little bit of loss from the cutting. But let's say he gained 8 pounds of muscle over 3 years doing that. That's extremely good. Versus what? Maintaining and maybe gaining 1 pound? Gaining 1 pound of muscle. So when people say maintenance, well, I don't mind, the time's going to pass anyways, but I'm like, but you're not going to make significant progress either. You can do relatively clean bulks, gain less than 10 pounds of body fat. You can diet it off very, very quickly. You're going to be bigger and more jacked than you would have been trying to maintain. And the same thing. So cutting, again, think of novice lifters. So what if they put on 25 pounds? Let's say a novice lifter bulks for a year, really hard, puts on 25 pounds, 15 of it's muscle tissue. How long is it going to take him to diet 10 pounds off? A couple months. He's going to look like a completely different person. He will look like a different person after just over a year of progress. That same guy tries to maintain his body weight and do that. He's not going to gain 15 pounds of muscle. He's not, unless he started fat, above 20% body fat, he's not going to gain 15 pounds of muscle in a year at maintenance. He's going to gain 2 pounds. He's going to gain 3 pounds, right? Instead of 15, going to make almost no change. It's going to be no difference. You need to be bulking or cutting, and that's what I mean. Maintaining does mean that you're accepting almost no progress, that you're happy where you are. You have no further goals. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.